deserves a better
like that intimidated face.
Zero the rolls back to hand.
Okay, go.
Play rolls from hand. Attach TM Evo. Energy for turn.
Energy for turn, sure.
And then TM Evo. Yeah. It's not really intuitive in the sense that like it's an easy game, but just watching it alone doesn't like really describe all the like decision making, I guess you could say.
Alright, you know what? I'll even do a play-by-play right now. I will describe it. He's using an attack from a card called Technical Machine Evolution, which with one energy attached to his Pokemon, which will be one of these cards right here, allows him to evolve two of his Pokemon on his bench back here. The bench is going to be right here, which is going to be your supporting Pokemon. If one of the ones in the active slot get knocked out, you get to move up one more to the front. For every card you knock out, you take a card from your prize pool right here. You get up to 6 cards in your prize pool. First player to either deck out their opponent or take all their prize cards wins the game. I'm going to go and conduct my draw. So we'll draw from the top, 1 card, right? Then from here, then I get to conduct my current phase, right?
Yes.
So from here,
it's just your face. It's just
my face. So it allows me to either evolve Pokemon, retreat Pokemon from the active slot to the bench slot right here.
Use items, tools, one supported per turn, attach one energy physically per turn, or manually, should I say.
So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to go ahead and utilize my supporter card. You only get to use one of these once per turn. So I'm going to go ahead and see the game up, actually.
Look at that, see? And I don't have a free attack anymore. I don't have a free, like, 2-prizer, essentially.
We have one of these.
That's a gust right there.
So we're going to go ahead and evolve one of my Pokemon from my hand right here, from Charcadet to Ceruledge right here. We're going to go ahead and retreat the Mew from back here. There's no retreat cost. So we put him over here, back here, and have Ceruledge right here to the front with 1 energy attached currently. We already used our supporter for turn, so we can no longer use another one. However, what I will do from here is attach another energy down here to one of my Pokemon, my Charcadet, and you can only attach once per turn. What I am also going to do is utilize Cycling Road right here. For every, I get to discard 1 energy from my hand right here into my discard pile to draw another card from my deck. And you can use it once per turn. Thinking right now, you want to do this. We're going to go ahead and use Squavet's effect right here, which is going to allow me to shuffle up my hand and then place it at the bottom of my deck. If I do so, I get to draw 1 card from my hand, from my deck to hand. Just like that. It's only once per turn. Then we're going to utilize View's effect, where you can draw up to 3 cards per turn.
Up to a hand of 3.
To a hand of 3. So we're going to draw 3 cards in my hand. This is going to do for now. So we'll draw these 2. Thinking on this one, we want to go ahead and use Iron Bundle. We're going to discard itself in all cards attached, and he gets to pick which Pokemon he wants to switch up from the active slot to the bench slot. So now, I'm going to go and check my discard pool right here, because Ceruledge's attack allows me to do 30 plus 20 times however many discards I have in my energy pile right here. So currently I have 6. So 6 times 2, well, that's an extra 0, so 120 plus another 30 is 150, which is enough to clear this Pokemon right here in the front, knocking this one out. Because every time you knock out a Pokemon, you take 1 card from your prize pool. But once you attack, that finishes your turn, and it goes to the opponent's turn.
Then I have to decide which Pokemon wants to be active before I start my turn.
And then the game essentially proceeds until the other player either runs out of cards or prize cards.
And you always start with the draw no matter what. So here we're going to do, use Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards to search for any Pokemon in your deck. So I'm going to discard a Research and a Brock.
It's going to allow him to search for any Pokemon in his deck.
Gardevoir, shuffle deck after search. There, every Pokemon has a purpose essentially.
Yeah, it's not just one essential. My deck does kind of revolve around the one Pokemon because he's like the main attacker, and these are just the supporting Pokemon to help facilitate this game plan. His kind of mixes around a bunch of Pokemon to help facilitate a game plan.
And each copy of a card that isn't a basic energy, you can only have maximum of 4 each.
Unless stated otherwise by the
rules of the rule of the box. And usually the rule is like you only have 1 copy of this card in your deck, or like 1 type of like this type of this type of card. So like A-Specs will have like 1 of any of them.
You'll see them. They'll be a really shiny or really.
They're like red. They're vibrant red and shit like that.
I'd say it's more like a shocking pink kind of color.
Yeah. Or like blue highlights. We'll smooth that. You can remove your counters now. I'm gonna evolve Gardevoir. I'm my research.
Research is good.
Discard all my hand. I have nothing in there, so just use it either way. That's 7.
Can you fan your discard? Good. Got a new hand now. Okay. So once he uses a supporter, it means he can't use another one.
My deck relies on like having stuff in my discard. I want to have as much energy, or at least all my energy in there, because like I don't need to attach it manually. I just have to like grab it from there with some abilities. So like he can see like what I can retrieve essentially. But at this moment in time, I have nothing to retrieve.
The discard pile is technically public knowledge, so the opponent can ask, "Hey, can I see your discard?" I just say fan out because I'm technically fanning out the discard. They will damage. It's not a matter of if it will, it's a matter of how fast you're gonna damage. If anything, get some garbage cards, those are your practice cards, then you move on to a good deck. Think of it as training, right? No one gets it right the first time, so don't worry about it. Sleeve cards are kind of utilitarian. It's more so like they're meant to be shuffled in a particular fashion, right? Where you're doing hand shuffles, right? Riffles, like, right? We call it waterfall shuffling, where you're essentially taking one pile into another and just orbit. Now, if anything, more people keep asking about this fucking question right here about this, like hand shuffling.
It's just like hand movement essentially.
When I first learned the hand trick, I was going really slow. I learned another method from a man from Saudi Arabia when he was playing retro Yu-Gi-Oh with me at a major event here in Vegas. He had it like this, where he holds his cards like this, and he'll use his thumb to just drag it out like this. Yeah.
Retrieve multiple night stretcher from the
Nice
discard.
stretcher, so that's gonna allow him to get any Pokemon or basic energy from his discard pile and add it to his hand. Right now he's still conducting his turn. So see how he placed the Pokemon down right there? Remember how I said you can evolve them? The turn you place them into your bench or active in your bench, you can't evolve them that turn. He has to wait one more turn before he can evolve them.
Ultra Ball.
Unless the card states otherwise. There are some exceptions. Whatchamacallit, you getting Meloetta EX?
Hell yeah. No, that's not even the best card. It's Jellicent. Any basic Pokemon has no ability essentially, as long as it's in the active, yes. Unevolved Pokemon or basic Pokemon. As long as it's not evolved, it's a basic.
It'll say right here at the top left-hand corner, you have basics up here at the top. This one says stage 1. This is not considered a basic anymore. Leave it as an evolution of the card. Super Rock will allow him to add back to his deck 3 Pokemon or 3 basic energy. No, a combination of basic energies or Pokemon back to his deck, and then he shuffles it after. Here, I'm going to conduct my draw. Check my discard. Alright, let's do it. Artisan effect. We're gonna search for a Pokemon that has no rule box. If it says rule box, you'll see a little box right here where it says Pokemon EX rule. It's kind of small in text, but you'll see right here where if this card gets knocked out, instead of taking 1 prize card, the opponent takes 2. So we're gonna find a Pokemon in my deck that doesn't have a rule box and then bench it. Here, we're gonna utilize the Ultra Ball here, discarding the Nest Ball and the Fire Energy from my hand to search for any Pokemon in my hand, Pokemon in my deck.
Those ace specs, those pink cards, are like extremely OP, which is why you can only have 1 ace spec in your entire deck.
Which side of Philly's good?
Alright.
I must have seen something.
You could use the Nest Ball for a while. I mean, you want to discard energy anyway, so might as well.
If you play consistently like I do, these will wear over time. And you kind of want to make sure that your money's worth is being used. I do buy cheaper sleeves just so I can play them. They're my go-to sleeves. So the card I added to hand, this one, this is
right there.
Yeah, so I got this for 15 from a vendor because I was being nice.
Yeah?
This is not even being sarcastic. Iron Bundle.
Just a heads up, now that I bring Klefki up, you have no basic abilities, so you can't use Spova and you can't use Mew.
You know, good point.
But also I can't use Generabrain because it's a basic Pokemon as well. Okay.
We're going to shuffle back up to 2 supporters from my discard and add them back to my deck. We're going to shuffle back both the Boss's Origin and Professor's Research somewhere in the deck. go ahead and bench shuffle right here.
All right.
And then we'll go attempt tap, and then before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and check. 2, 4, 6, 7, 7 times 2, 140. So 170
out. Take your price.
knockout, and then price card.
You play against whoever, but the meta is always like some cards are some decks are more they have more of like an advantage over
So
other decks.
put it like this: the more consistent your deck is, and the higher the ceiling of what your deck is capable of doing, are going to be the decks you're going to see more often than others. So I want it so that you're always playing for consistency. That's why. This will allow him to search for 2 basic energies by dumping a card from his hand. So he'll sacrifice that card to his discard pile, allow them to search for 2 energies right now.
Discard these 2.
Actually, I'll use the other shuffling method here. Alright, if I knew how to do like all like the magician shuffle shit, right? Like I'd be surprising so many. No,
not
I'm
yet.
bugging, Go.
I didn't use the supporter yet.
Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and use this supporter right here, which will allow him to search for both a Pokemon tool and a Pokemon item. So this is considered an item. You'll see at the top.
This is the A spec, and then it says item right there. It says right here tool. So search for
A tool and an
Pokemon
item.
tool. Reveal it. Yep. So I'm gonna reveal these 2 to him.
Yeah, so I know what's being added to his hand. If he gets to put them into his hand.
Since I'm gonna be searching a little more, I'm not gonna cut the deck. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it here for now until I start finishing up all my searches. Or this argument goes in the trash. The Scream Tail.
Scream Tater. There are big names that can pilot multiple decks, so they're going to make the call out. But what I'm going to do as a player, because I'm not playing super consistently, right? Because I still have to juggle this and then the fighting game stuff I do off to the side, right? What's going to happen is that instead of looking for a player, I'm going to look for the notable decks, right? And then, my turn yet?
Yeah, it's your turn right now.
All right. Well, we can put some pause.
Thank you. Really nice then. Yeah. At some point.